Brothers and sisters of Africa, listen to me with the conviction of those who know the truth. The time for silence has passed, and the time for action is upon us. Today, I speak not just as one man, but as the voice of millions who have been pushed to the edge, who have suffered under the weight of exploitation for far too long. Today, I speak with the fire of truth in my heart, truth that cannot be erased by any paper, any threat, any imperialist force. They think they can silence us, they think they can intimidate us, but we, the people of Africa, have already broken the chains that once bound us. We are no longer afraid. They can issue all the warrants they want. They can send their so-called international organizations to chase us, to capture us, to break us. But I tell you, we do not bow to Interpol, we do not bow to France, we do not bow to the United States, and we will never bow to the European Union. This arrest warrant they've issued against me, against our people, is not about justice. It is not about law. It is not about peace or security. It is a tool, a weapon of imperialism forged in the same fire where slavery was created, where colonization was birthed, where the theft of our lands and resources became a system. It is a desperate attempt to preserve an empire that is crumbling. They say I am a danger, that I am destabilizing their order. But let me ask you, whose order? Whose peace? Whose law? Was it Africans who enslaved Europeans and shipped them across oceans? Was it Africans who stole lands, destroyed cultures, and drew borders that separated us with blood and greed? Number. It was them. It was their so-called civilized world that has fed on the blood of others for centuries. Today, one African leader dares to say, enough. And now they mobilize their tools of intimidation. They mobilize Interpol to try and silence us, but I stand before you, unyielding, defiant. I will not be silenced. And I say to Interpol, you are not neutral. You are the hand of those who cannot win on the battlefield of ideas. So they hide behind bureaucracy, behind red notices, behind threats. They think that arrest warrants can stop revolutions. They think that papers can chain a people who have already broken the shackles of colonization. But let me be clear. Your warrant is an insult. It is nothing but a piece of paper, and this paper will only make us stronger. To Donald Trump, to Emmanuel Macron, to the bureaucrats of Brussels, you threaten us because of our gold, our uranium, our oil, our fertile lands. You want us to remain beggars in our own homes, supplying raw materials while you sit in luxury, but we see through your lies. You cloak your greed with words like democracy, human rights, and global security, yet your history shows the opposite. You support dictators when they serve your interests. You overthrow leaders when they defend their people. You fund wars when they pave the way for your corporations to thrive. And now, because we say Africa will control its own destiny, you turn Interpol into your hunting dog. But listen to me, I am not afraid. Africa is not afraid. You can threaten me with prison. You can threaten me with exile. You can threaten me with death. But what you cannot do is break the will of a people who have awakened. The youth of Africa have risen. The workers of Africa have risen. The farmers of Africa have risen. They have said, no more exploitation, no more humiliation, no more puppets dancing to the West. Do you know why your warrant backfired the moment it was issued? Because it exposed the truth. It revealed that the so-called international system is not about fairness, it is about control. And let me make this clear, this is not just about me. This is about every African who refuses to sell their minerals for scraps. Every African who refuses to kneel before Paris, Washington, or Brussels. I am just a voice, but behind me stands a generation that has sworn never again. Let them call me a rebel. Let them call me a dictator. Let them call me a criminal. Their insults are badges of honor. Because every African leader who ever stood tall for their people was slandered, demonized, hunted. Patrice Lumumba was called dangerous. Thomas Sankara was called dangerous. Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist. Kwame Nkrumah was called a threat. And now, because I continue in their path, they add my name to that list. But if that is the company I keep, I accept it proudly. What they fear most is not me. It is the unity of Africa. They tremble at the thought of Africans saying, our gold stays in Africa, our uranium powers African homes, our oil fuels African industries, our land grows food for African children. They fear the end of their parasitic lifestyle, where they live in luxury while we die in poverty. They fear a continent that no longer allows foreign companies to rob it blind, a continent that no longer obeys the orders of foreign powers, whether it be Paris, London, Brussels, or Washington. They tremble at the thought of Africa taking back control of its destiny, its wealth, and its future. That is what they fear, and that is precisely why they hide behind institutions like Interpol, trying to intimidate us, to silence us, to weaken our resolve. Macron, you dare to speak of liberty, equality, fraternity, words that are meant to inspire, yet your hands are stained with the blood of Africa. You sit in your palace in Paris, living off the wealth stolen from the very soil of Africa, Niger's uranium, Mali's gold, Burkina Faso's sweat. You think a mere arrest warrant will make us crawl back to you, groveling at your feet. No, Macron. France is finished in Africa. Your arrogance, your legacy of exploitation, your colonial mindset has expired. Africa has seen through your lies. We know that under the guise of partnership and cooperation, you have only ever sought to rob, to control, to oppress. You dare to speak of democracy, but you are the very embodiment of hypocrisy. And then there's Trump, who shouts about making America great again. But tell me, was America ever great for Africans? Was it great when millions of Africans were enslaved and exploited to build this so-called great nation? Was it great when Africa's resources were drained to build your skyscrapers, your cities, while our people languished in poverty? You come to us with threats, with sanctions, with empty promises of better deals, but we see you for what you truly are. Your greatness was built on the backs of our ancestors, on the theft of our resources, on the suffering of our people. America's so-called greatness is rooted in the exploitation of Africa, and that is a legacy we will no longer bow to. The European Union, with your endless committees, your so-called moral diplomacy. You act as though you are the guardians of justice, the protectors of peace, but the whole world sees through your mask of hypocrisy. You support dictators when they serve your interests. You celebrate rigged elections, those that keep your puppets in power while real democracy is crushed beneath the weight of your financial might. But the moment an African leader rises saying, "We will control our resources, we will shape our future," you call him a criminal, a rogue. You issue warrants, you prepare coups, you unleash a propaganda machine designed to destroy the leaders who dare to challenge your control. This is your justice, this is your democracy, but I will not bow to this twisted system. Hear me now, and hear it clearly. No matter what you do, I will continue to lead Africa. If I fall tomorrow, if you manage to imprison me, understand this. Your prisons will not hold the revolution. They will not suppress the voices of the millions who stand with me. If you kill me, my blood will nourish the tree of African freedom, and it will grow stronger, and the revolution will continue to spread across every corner of this continent. This is bigger than Ibrahim Traoré. This is about the soul of Africa. This is about the generations of our ancestors who fought, who died, so that we could be free. And I swear before God, not me, not a single African will bow before you. We will not sell our minerals. We will not sell our sovereignty. We will not sell our dignity. We will not sell our children's future for the false promises of foreign powers. We will not be your pawns in a game that benefits only you. Africa is not your mine, not your farm, not your playground. Africa is the land of free people, people who know their worth, people who understand that their strength lies in their unity. Free people who refuse to be enslaved again, who refuse to let history repeat itself. They tried to divide us in the past. Divide and conquer was their strategy. They tried to pit brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, region against region. But today, we see through their lies. We see the hand that has been dealt to us, and we know that we are not here to serve them. We are not here to bow down. We are here to shape our own destiny, to reclaim our lands, our resources, our identity. We will not be intimidated. We will not bow, we will rise, and we will rise stronger than ever before. Let the world see this clearly. Africa is awake. Africa is strong. Africa will lead. We will not bend. We will not compromise. Our sovereignty is ours to defend, and no matter how many threats they throw at us, no matter how many sanctions they impose, we will rise. Our unity is our power, and together we are unstoppable. The truth is simple. Africa is no longer the playground of the West. We will no longer be their source of cheap labor, cheap resources, and cheap power. The continent that gave the world so much, its minerals, its people, its strength, is taking back control. We are done being silenced. We are done being exploited. Africa is no longer a victim. Africa is rising. And there is nothing that can stop us. To all Africans listening, this is your moment. Stand with me. Stand with your brothers and sisters. Stand with the generations that fought and died for this moment. Let the world know that Africa is united. Let the world know that we will not kneel before foreign powers. Our resources belong to us. Our future belongs to us, and we will defend it with every fiber of our being. The time for compromise has passed. The time for fear has passed. This is the time for Africa to stand tall, to be proud, and to lead the world, not as a beggar, but as the giant that it truly is. Africa will own its resources. Africa will own its future. Africa will never bow again.